Yes, my people. Big PROZECH back again. And you already know, man, it's sneakers, kicks, and creps. Welcome to Kicks Chronicles. Now, Kicks Chronicles is our podcast where we take a little stroll down memory lane and we get into the sneaker history of some amazing people. We go all the way back to what drew them into the game, that first shoe, all the way to the modern day and what's currently on feet. Today, once again, I have a bro in our midst. To be honest, he's actually my best friend. He's my guy. He was the best man at my wedding. I was the best man at his wedding. You get me? He's a videographer, media exec. Like, he's out here doing amazing things. Super talented guy, super creative guy. I'm talking about the one and only Mr. Peter Anthony. Peter, what is kicking, my bro?
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. Thank God. It's one of those, when people introduce you like that, you're just kind of like, what is man saying? But likewise, loving what you're doing with the channel, loving what you're doing with the pods. And yeah, man, happy to get into it.
Love that, man. Love that. I had to get you on, bro, because we've got history in the game. So, like, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this, man. I'm looking forward to this. Bro, let's kick it off at the beginning, man. There was a kick. There was one. There's always one. You get me? Like that one that just grabbed your heart, that just captured you, that said, you know what, if you get me, I'm gonna change the game for you. I'm gonna upgrade you. You're gonna get straight A's. Your aura's gonna change. What was that shoe for you? What that said, you gotta have me?
So that's weird. I was thinking about this, and actually, I don't think I knew too many people that had it, but I think on eStreet Market they had a lot of fakes.
Shout out eStreet Market.
We
know that.
And the magazines and all the different things. So it was the Nike Uptempo. It was I think I like the black one specifically that had the air written and it had like a white outline, and then it had the little orange bubble.
Yeah.
So for me that was the first shoe. I don't think it wasn't crazy in school, or I think I just saw it around the way, to be fair. I just saw it around the way in like in magazines, and like just people older than us had it, and I was just kind of like, whoa.
That shit was fire, bro. Like, first came out, like, I think in the 90s, Scottie Pippen was the one that sort of one that was sort of bringing that one out. And yeah, the Uptempos, man. Do you know one of the other reasons why I really like that? It kind of was a sort of an homage to sort of the graffiti and, like, you know, like hip hop, that like graffiti, break dancing, music, DJing, blah blah blah. So it's kind of like Nike's homage to the sort of graffiti side of it. I remember back in the day we used to do bubble. We used to do that bubble writing,
or drawing, or whatever you want to call it.
So it kind of reminded me of that. So I'm a big fan of that shoe, man. I really, really love that shoe.
And it's funny because actually, whenever I would draw characters for school, in regards to whether like it's a story or a book or whatever it is, your character was always wearing those trainers.
Always wearing
Uptempos. We're talking like primary school, so like always when because then you can draw the air and the bubble, and like it's easy to know exactly what trainers your character's wearing. Like if he's the main character, then he's got to be legit.
If he's the main character, he's got to be wearing the Uptempos. So that's a big shoe, bro. Like 100%. So that's cool, man. And obviously, one of the other like influence in the shoes that we like, we love, we enjoy growing up is obviously the areas that we grow up in. So I know obviously that when you were younger you moved around a little bit, but like when you were growing up, like what was the shoe that kind of was like the one that kind of ran your area, that was, if you were to think back and say, you know what, this shoe represented my area, what shoe would that be?
Yeah, so for me, Elephant and Castle. So I know you're gonna say, because you're down the way at Bermondsey, and there was a big thing around Reebok Classics. And Reebok Classics were everywhere, and they were super popular. In terms of defining my area, I'd probably say the Nike Air Max, and I'd probably say like the one, and specifically, and I believe it's a Nike Air Max 1, but there was a particular one that came out that had like the USA flag on the heel. It was like a limited edition something. I think it might have been an Olympic year or something like that. But it was everywhere. Like everyone on my estate had it. Everyone in primary school had it. And it was just one of those shoes that just...
Bro, it might be the 92 Olympics, you know, if I'm thinking like if you think logically, like 92 Olympics, that was massive. The Dream Team, I believe, that was the year that the Dream Team was in Barcelona, I believe it was. So yeah, it might have been the 92 Olympics, Oh, but that's also the Air Max one. I mean, we've spoke about this many a time. The Air Max one is easily one of my personal favorites, probably in my top, easily in my top 5 actually. So yeah, and to be fair, I actually personally look at the Air Max one as the Reebok Classic for Nike. I look at it and that same
100%.
Yeah, 100%. I mean the
MX-90
MX-90 is kind of there as well, because the MX-90 were the first ones that I got. I only got Air Max ones like later on in life, but like that sort of lipped, lower profile shoe, like every sort of brand had to have one, and I think the pinnacle was the Reebok Classic, and I think every other brand had a version of that shoe. Yeah,
I was also anti Reebok Classic as well. I think I don't know if it was just, I think I really, it's the weird one, and I think that also explains why I like the Uptempo. I think there was something, I don't know, I think actually it was a tribalism of Nike and Reebok. I think at that young age, I think I had that tribalism of just like, I'm Nike.
Do you know, now you mentioned that, it's actually so interesting because like we've got a mutual friend, Ade, and he's basically like, he's a Nike guy, and he's been a Nike guy from early, like that's his thing. It's almost like when you're growing up, you're thinking like, who am I? Am I a Nike guy, or am I an Adidas guy, or am I a Reebok guy? Like you're trying to find your identity in so many different ways, but that's just one of them. And it's so interesting that you said like, that tribalism. It's almost like football. It's like, nah, bro, I don't mess with you, man. You man are Nike, man, and I'm not on that. You get me? I don't go there. I don't go to your places. I don't eat in your restaurants. You get me? We don't associate with one another.
You know, it's funny though. It changed when my mum was when my parents were able to. When I started getting to the point where either they were buying me trainers or getting me the trainers I wanted to get. It would be Adidas trainers. So then I became an Adidas guy for a while. Because then it's just like, well, if this is where we can get in, then you get in where you fit in, really.
Because at the end of the day, like at a certain age, you're just trying to get any kind of name brand book you can get, you know. You're just trying to get in somewhat of a recognizable shoe where you're not gonna have to take heat for it. And in saying that, like I definitely have to get into this area, like, and obviously I've referred to it in the past as either a character building kick or for myself, the Valley of the Shadow of Death. Shout out the Valley. So yeah, we had to take a little stroll down that dirty road. You get me? And we were walking in some dirty kicks. So I'm gonna mention a few names, see if they ring any bells. But I'm talking obviously Plimsolls, Golas, Airs, Bull Boys, High-Techs, Dunlops, Mercuries, Avias. Someone reminded me recently about Ascot. Shout out Ascot and Tracks, bro. There's so many names, bro. Any of those ring a bell? Any of those ring
Tracks. Tracks was the one, because I think Tracks you had to get from I don't know if it was called like Shoe Zone or something like that.
Shoe Zone or Shoe Express, one of them, man.
Shoe Express, one of those kind of, it's almost like supermarket meets footwear.
Bro, and that's it. No, legit, that was it. It was low cost footwear, but like I remember they had one in Syracuse, and because it was a new shop, everyone assumed it was good stuff, but within
it was just untouched.
Within a week, we realized this is basically at that time Lidl for kicks, in it. It's low cost kicks. So
you know what it is? You're thinking about it now, actually, when you say that. It's because we didn't have like Asda George and Sainsbury's too, and
Primark, all of those things.
It's a good point. But Tracks, man, that was the one. But it's weird because at that age, because in terms of it being character building, I think I was disappointed I didn't have the trainers that I wanted. But almost once I had them, I think I had this thing where I just owned it. Like, you've seen a few of my pictures from my childhood. What I was wearing was wild. So, like, it almost wasn't inconsistent. And I think also in primary school, I was I was just so quick-tongued, like, and just in terms of, like, you couldn't custom me anyways because, you know, my humor, my sense of humor, my ability to kind of, like, come back.
You're quick, 100%. Floyd Mayweather with it, like,
was unmatched.
Like, just...
you know, so that almost brought me a level of, I'll use the term immunity.
Because you built up so much credit, like you're known. You get me? Your reputation has gone ahead. So we can eat a dirty shoe, yeah, because no one's gonna really try, come for the king. I hear that, bro. I hear that.
So I work with confidence. Like my mom was cutting my hair. My mom was buying my clothes from like CNA, BHS.
Shout out Mumsy, man.
So this was a difficult period.
Love Mumsy, man, but we know we know that she wasn't playing any games.
I think I lived that period like it wasn't. I think I lived it like I wore my haircuts for pride. I wore my out, like honestly. There was never a moment where I felt inadequate. It's weird. It's so strange. It's so strange.
But that's good though, and I applaud that.
That's God's grace.
And I think obviously, and like we're on the channel talking about shoes, so it's like there's somewhat of a juxtaposition, but like understanding really what the important things are in life are key. And obviously you get that through your upbringing, you get that through just being well-rounded as a human being, and understanding, you know, it's probably not as important what shoes I wear versus like I'm saying who I am as a person. So like, the reason why I love to ask this question is really because of the effects that it had, because it's almost like you're going through something that we perceive to be negative, but truthfully in reflection actually informed a lot of our opinions, informed a lot of maybe that made us humble, like made us more well-rounded as people. Like, so I appreciate that process. And the thing is, as funny as it is, like do you know what I mean? I almost said I would like for our children to have to go through that, but it's almost like child abuse at this stage.
No. I feel about it.
Like just because they get it so easy now. I'm not a grizzled old man or whatever, or Richard or whatever. But like, come on, man, we know the situation. Everyone gets it real easy right now. You get me? There's shoes coming out left, right, and center.
It could be used as a punishment, though. It could be used as a punishment.
And learn
maybe in the teenage years, if you misbehave.
You know what I need to do? You know, now you said that, yeah, what we need to do, yeah, we need to scour the earth for a quick pair of ascots or some tracks, yeah, right? And just keep them in a case as like a punishment case, and just say, bro, fam, yeah, what you just did, that's 2 days in ascots, bro. 2 days. 2 days in ascots. I don't want to see them shoes off your feet.
Do you know, it reminds me of growing up when it was almost like being sent to Nigeria was a punishment.
Legit punishment.
Like, you get sent back. You like a child in Nigeria. You know, it's like, you know.
You know what?
For sure, 100%. I think it needs to be.
They used to use that, send you back to Nigeria like they were sending you to Penn. Like very rarely did people ever come back. There was no rehabilitation process. It was, he's gone.
He didn't make it. It was one way.
He didn't make it, bro.
It was one way. And then they wonder why you don't want to go to Nigeria in your adult age.
On holiday. On holiday. PTSD, everyone's trying to get out and no one's able to meet.
I'm still scared. I'm telling my wife where I'm going, babes. I'm going to Nigeria with my mum.
Anointing oil. Journey Mercies. Alright, bro, man. So now let's wing our way a bit further up the chain. You get me? And let's get into sort of when you took over. You get me? Because obviously younger years, your parents are doing what they can, but like, when you had the opportunity to sort of buy your first pair of shoes, I'm interested to understand, what was your debut? What was the first one you drew for?
I think the first pair that I bought when I started working in Argos. Because I think I remember this incorrectly, is when I started working at Shoe, but actually I started working at Argos, and I remember buying a pair of Air Force Ones. And that's when Air Force Ones were about £50, and that still felt expensive. I think I still tried to get a friend to get me this kind of JD, but it was long. I got these Air Force Ones, and I bought them in my size, which wasn't my size. It was a mess, basically, and it was cool. And I think that taught me, that was when I learned that not every trainer that's hot or that's in having its moment is for me. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't. I think it was the fact that with Air Force Ones, if you don't get them in the right size, they start to crease at the front and they start to dip.
Bro,
plus they look too big.
Oh, bro, it is a conundrum that has flummoxed and perplexed many generations before us, and I feel I feel like we were somewhat of a testing generation. I feel like the leather they used, the materials they used, like I feel like it didn't do the shoe justice at that particular stage. So we were constantly fighting that crease battle. Also, I feel like in the modern day, I feel like they've addressed it in the materials and the leathers that they use. I feel like it's less. I feel like other businesses have come up with other ways of potentially like protecting that area as well.
I feel like it depends. I feel like people now know if you're buying Air Force Ones, you buy either a half size down.
Yeah, that's a
or if you take, for instance, if you go to like a Shoreditch or if you go up north, because everyone's wearing Air Force Ones now, right? They will wear them like that, but then they'll pull them tight and they'll embrace like that kind of.
They'll lean into the crease. Crowd. Yeah, they'll lean into the crease.
It depends on what the I guess your angle is and stuff. But that's for me the beauty of sneakers now in its universal like nature is that different people wear the same shoe in different ways, you know, like it's trainers across the board, and you're seeing it with, you know, the Air Maxes up and down, you've seen it with Air Force Ones. They've almost become the same way that Converses used to be, where everyone would wear Converses, and then you could probably say, you know, if you're talking about school, you could say, oh, the guys from Bermondsey are wearing this and the guys from Lewisham are wearing that. But now everyone's kind of wearing the same thing, just in a Bermondsey way or in a Lewisham, like however you want to put that spin on it and stuff. But that's, to me, it's the beauty when you see people rocking it in the wrong way.
I completely agree, bro. I completely agree, because then it gives you a different perspective on the same shoe, like, and it lets you realize like how universal those kicks really were, and how far and wide they reached. You get me? And I completely agree, man. You can kind of almost, in the way that someone laces their shoes or wears their shoes, kind of maybe get an understanding as to where they're from. Like it tells you something about the person, which is interesting. And this is something like I definitely have to talk to you about, because we have had conversations about this, and you kind of inspired me asking this question to many people actually. But like, talk to me about the process of you buying a shoe to it actually getting on your feet. Just talk to me about that process, bro.
So for me now, so I think I worked at Shoe, and I think when I worked at Shoe, because I worked at Shoe for the whole of university and most of college, so near on 5 years across like 3 or 4 different cities, and being able to, like, when it's quiet on a Wednesday evening, just sit in the stockroom and just try on shoes and stuff. Like that's a real thing.
That's
or
a
when
dream,
something
bro.
comes out and it's on the shelf and you're just like, oh. So I think through that, and I guess just the different points, even now thinking about what you said about primary school, not really having the right trainers but not really caring. I think I learned the process of editing, because when you get crazy discount, shout out Shoe, you can buy everything. Like you end up buying so many shoes. And I think by the time I got to the end of uni, I had all of these trainers that just I couldn't really wear anymore, because some of them were me, some of them weren't me, some of them I got because they were cheap or whatever. And so for me, it's like I've gotten to a point. So if I'm buying a shoe, it's like I'm trying to figure out where it fits into my rotation before I buy it. Right? Like I've tried to stop impulse buys and stuff, unless it's something that's dirt cheap and can be a bot to the shop or whatever it is. Right? So yeah, trying to figure out where it fits into rotation. Then when I get it in, so when it arrives or whatever, I'll wear it around the house again from Shoe, because we used to have a 1-year returns policy, which was our USP.
Massive.
And our whole line was basically, we're obviously just trying to get the sale because it's all about revenue. Why don't you take them home, walk around the house, see how they feel, because most people aren't really going to come back and return them or whatever it is. Walk around the house, see how they feel, if it's comfortable, and if it's not, you've only worn them on carpet, bring them back. And actually saying that so many times, that's what I do now. So I wear them around. If they feel a bit tight, they don't feel tight. And then initially, 4 or 5 years ago, or even 10 years ago, I would try it on with different outfits and stuff. I think now I've edited almost my look to the point where I understand where each one fits, and then I'll wait. So it depends on the shoe. If it's a shoe where I'm replacing the shoe, so I'm big on, like Chuck 70s. I'm big on, that's my shoe, Chuck 70s, Jack Purcell, Converse Jack Purcell signatures. Those are shoes that I will always own, and I'll just rotate different colors, different fabrics, so I know how they fit into my everyday. They are a workhorse type of a shoe, right? They're going in. So for those shoes, I can chuck them straight in. If they're a different colorway or like a collaboration, then I'll wait for a specific day. So say, for instance, if it's like a pitch, or if there's something happening at work where I've got like a big presentation and maybe I'm like putting a little sauce on it or whatnot, then I'll wait. But for the most part, yeah, like it's just making sure it fits into the rotation. It finds a way to compute within the algorithm as such, and then I'll give it maybe like a week, a couple weeks. Sometimes sat on shoes for maybe like a month, and just because it's about feeling for me. It's like it's about feeling. It's not just about, when I was younger I used to just want to wear them, but now it's about, yeah, like when am I looking forward to being able to, and it's, if they're white as well, then that's another thing, because then it's the weather's got to be right. So you're checking the weather forecast, because I don't want to have to be thinking about, if it's raining, I'm hopping on puddles and stuff. But yeah, that's a little bit of the process. It's just making sure it fits within the rotation, and then I'll wear it. And sometimes I may wear it in the morning. I'm like, I'm going to wear them today, whatever, and I'll not prepare the outfit, but I'll have it planned in advance and whatnot. And on the day it doesn't feel right, so I just want to wear them. And in the reverse, I'll be wearing something that I'm about to wear, what I, normal pair of shoes and whatnot. And I'm like, you know what? These would look dope. And then on that day, I'll be like, I wasn't expecting to debut today, but bam, let's go with the debut. So it varies, man. But the one thing I will add is that it sounds like I think about it, but these are all things that just happen in the background. Like, it just happens, and then it just happens, and it's a lot of it. It's just feeling.
I hear that, bro. And do you know what? You kind of mentioned something that I'm kind of interested in. Obviously, you work in media, and it's well known within that industry that you're quite relaxed when it comes to how you look. It's more about how you feel. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the process. So, like, you kind of mentioned that, like, if you had like a big pitch or you had a big meeting, you might wear a certain shoe. In your mind, when you're doing like a big pitch or when you're doing something really important, are you seeking at that point comfort, or are you seeking confidence, or is it just style? Or I'm saying, like what energy are you drawing for? Are you like, I don't want my shoes to be a distraction, or I need to get some energy from these shoes to be able to really hit out the park, sort of thing? Talk to me.
So I think they're a little bit connected, because as I've gotten older, being comfortable is part of the shoes that I like. So the shoes that I'm drawn to are slightly more comfortable. And comfortable, not... So basically the difference between Chuck 70s being comfortable because they have the Zoom air unit in it, versus traditional Jack Purcell being uncomfortable because they're just a sheet of rubber, right? But not necessarily going all the way to like a boost, right? So I would stay in that kind of smarter, like court shoes, tennis shoes, sneakers. That's my zone anyways, right? And for me in that moment, it's about, it's confidence, right? So it's whatever I'm wearing. So I genuinely kind of stay smart casual anyway, but for that particular day, I'll dial it up. So maybe I'll add a blazer to the mix, and maybe I'm wearing trousers instead of jeans or whatever it is, or smarter chinos instead of casual chinos. And yeah, in that moment, you're putting something on that the whole look as a whole will give you confidence. And then the trainers is like a little pièce de resistance, because you almost feel light-footed when you're wearing new shoes, because you don't end up stepping, but at the same time they just feel there's a little bit of, it's kind of like when you wear a structured suit, that it just changes the way you walk. Yeah, man. And it was well at work when you have a pitch, and people dress smart when they come when they have pitches and big meetings and stuff. And when you walk into the office, everyone be like, "Oh, you got a big meeting today, Pete?" And then and it's all part of the routine and the ritual, and that kind of gets you geared up. Whereas if you walk in and people don't know you have a big meeting, it's just kind of like it's just another day.
For real.
But it's just part of the fun of it.
Nah, man, I love that, man. I love that. All right, bro. This next part of the interview is called the EST of KIC. And when I say EST, I actually am referring to Est. Est is the oldest, the newest, the rarest, the expensivest, the cheapest, all of that good stuff and everything in between. I'm going to rattle through a few of these. You can go short on these answers. You can expand. You can do whatever you want to do. No rules here. Okay, let's start off with the beginning. The oldest. What are the oldest shoes you currently own?
I still own. I think they're probably Prestos. I think I got a couple Prestos from a few years ago. To be honest, I tend not to keep them as long anymore, which there are a lot of shoes that I've gotten rid of that now I regret, because you kind of grow out of it and then you grow back into it. So there are a lot of dunks that I have from uni. I had like 6-7 pairs of dunks that I gave away. So
are you serious, bro? And to be honest, I can actually see you in a dunk, right? And like it would fit your silhouette so perfectly, because like that was a lesson from the Air Force One. I realized that I'm not an Air Force One guy. I'm a dunk guy. Dunk guy. So that was the first and the last Air Force Ones I ever bought. But then dunks, I could easily say I bought maybe 9-10 pairs of dunks. I had black ones. I had black ones with white stitching all around them. I love those. I saw them on the bus. I was coming back home from work. They sold them at Foot Locker, which I never went into because, again, tribalism. And I saw one guy on the bus with him, and I was like, "Whoa, what are these?" It was black leather, and I don't think at that point there was an all black pair of dunks. Black leather. It had the like a light grey sole, and then it just had white stitching all around the shoe, around the tick. I had those. Yeah. Anyways, and all the other colours in between, but alas, they're no longer with me. And the funny thing is, I mean, dunks now are literally like,
alas,
yeah, man. Like I recently, I'm obviously showing the Zoom Londons right now, but like right underneath those are my latest and my first pair of dunks. These are like when I say first, I've had a few come through the hands, but these are the first pair that I'm actually gonna hold on to. These are the medium curries, man. And so I think we'll switch out the Zoom Londons for the medium curries in I don't even know what the word is. But yeah, man. Yeah, I've slowly come around to being a dunk guy, man. I don't actually have any Air Force Ones in the game, but I think I could probably rock both, because I think with Air Force Ones having a thicker, fatter,
100%.
like foot, wide toe foot, like I mean, it helps because it spreads out the surface area. But like I think it also works with these as well. I was interested in these because of the fact that I thought they were like cute. Like I actually thought, these are actually, and my feet have never been referred to as cute, but in wearing these, I'm like, I actually feel like pretty in these kicks.
This is it, but that's the beauty of fabric colorways, you know, all these things, you know, the suede, the leathers, and it's crazy because those are the things, you know, when we talk about being a sneakerhead or being in trainers, those are the things that get me more than just, you know, not necessarily the hype. I think I don't necessarily always like the trainers that are the most popular, and it's not to say that it's anything special, but it's just, I think what I'm looking for, what speaks to me, is just different. And with that one, I was stalking that one, and then I looked on StockX, but I can't be doing that, man. That resale
on dunks are literally crazy, man. Shout out dunks for that, man, because you're getting double money pretty much on every single one, and that's like if it's just a regular one. These were quote unquote premium, like, and they're legit. And
I appreciate that they're not the Dunk SBs, because again,
that's a different thing. That's like another, like that skateboarding flex is a different thing. The
tongue doesn't sit with my silhouette.
Fat tongue that's not gonna work. That's not going to work. It wasn't going to work with me. But the thing is, I think over time, give it a go or try it out. You never know. It might actually, once you have your own feet, it might surprise you. You never know. But let's wing our way forward, man. What's the newest pair of shoes you currently have in the rotation?
Newest pair, I got a pair of Converse. Newest pair is a mix between a Converse pair I bought and a Nike pair I bought at the same time. The Nike pair are more just every day. It was a Black Friday kind of heavily discounted because obviously with lockdown and the pandemic and stuff. So I picked those up in 2 colors, and then the newest ones are these. No, they're not really.
That's kind of like a
these are Converse.
That's a Chuck 70, right?
Yes, Chuck 70. So again, it has the thicker sole. Unit.
That's a low though. Okay, nice hit of red on the back.
And then it's basically called Rival. So it's got again mix of fabric. So it's got the standard canvas, but then it also has this like premium suede, as they would call it. And then it's also got this offset with
toe box is offset, man. That's fire, man.
Yeah. And it's got that one. So it's got, and then on the back as well, it's got the offset.
Oh, that's offset as well. The red hit on the back is offset as well. That's
again, that was in the sale on Converse's website. Again, just because it's nothing special. It's not really gonna scream at anybody. No one's gonna, roll over and go nuts over it. But those little details are the little bits that.
Yeah, that's a nice shoe, man. That's a nice shoe. All right, bro. Talk to me, man. Expensivest. What? And this could be that you've ever owned, and it can be that you paid retail or has appreciated in value over time. Yeah, we can look at it in different ways.
Do you know what? It's not. I think it's between the Presto ones, the Unholy Cumulus. They were like a special drop. They're not crazy expensive. I think they're like 160 or something like that. But I had a voucher from work. Then the other ones will be my running shoes. They're actually, I think, of their performance, whatnot. The Nike Pegasus Turbo 2s. They were 160, but I got them on StockX for 90.
Shout out.
But that's because I think they sold out and they discontinued them and stuff. So I think there was a boom where they were going on StockX for more, and then it tailed off because obviously newer shoes are coming out and stuff. So I just waited, and then
patience is a key, man. Patience is a virtue. Not all shoes out on StockX are actually going for more than retail. Some of them are actually going for less, so you can get some really good deals on StockX and other similar apps. You get me, like, so
yeah. Do you know what's funny? It's because I'm currently waiting on my Nike Kill Shot, the J Crews. I'm waiting on that because obviously J Crew went
they went under, man.
They went under during, and I had a friend that was going to New York last year that was going to buy me a pair because they don't sell them in this country. But obviously they went under, so I'm like, how am I going to get them? I'm waiting on StockX because they're actually going for cheaper than they would. Well, they were. Now they've gone back up, so I'm just like, should I get in? But it's a long game for me. Plus, there's some other colours that I didn't even realise that they had on StockX, which I saw Chris Paul wearing at the All-Star game. He's wearing the Kill Shots, but mine have the navy blue tick. He's wearing ones that have it's like a cream, so it's almost like a sale on sale colorway, and then it's got the gum sole. So I'm waiting on those. Those are going for like, I don't know, I want to say 40 or something like that. But like to buy it now is like 50 something, and I'm like, nah, I don't need them today. So
you can wait.
I'm waiting for somebody to accept the booty. You know what I'm saying?
So you put the bid up at 40, and you're waiting.
And I'm the highest bidder. I'm the highest bidder.
You got all the power. The power.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. So, because there was a point where I'm like, this is taking ages. Let me just add the extra £10? Because when you then add like shipping and all that stuff, because it comes from the States, it's like 60. But I'm like, no. We're on lockdown. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
So you are locked in a literal battle with this person, probably in one of the four corners of the world, and literally you are having this battle.
I just go in every day and just check, because I've got it linked to a different email address that doesn't come to my phone. He hasn't listened to.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing new lowest price 52, 50. Go to 40, my son.
Alright, bro. Talking of making prices cheaper, what are your cheapest kicks?
Cheapest kicks, some pale blue high top original Jack Gazelles from Converse. They were pale blue. It wasn't the normal canvas. It was like a soft cotton, and then it had a brown leather all-star patch on the side. You know, on the high top you got the round all-star star. It was a brown leather embossed. And I got those for £15. Wow. I think they were a limited edition in another store, and somebody returned them.
Anything, bro. That's mad.
Somebody returned them to £15 less my 25% discount. So whatever that is.
Wow.
Yeah, whatever that is. So I think I got for like £12 or something silly. But somebody had bought them in another store, returned them in our store, and it was so long ago that they just discounted it and they just sat there, and then they didn't put it on the shelf because there's no other, it doesn't fit. So it was just there in the stockroom for ages, and then they put it in the sale, and I was like, thank you very much. One of one.
Another lesson, man. Another lesson, man. Waited it out. Didn't strike while the iron's hot. Love that, bro. Love that. Okay, bro. Talk to me, yeah, right? I know that you've been working in media for a long time, and I know sometimes in media you get the odd perk, you get a couple gifts, you get me? So this question is a little bit like I've kind of patterned it a little bit, so forgive me, because I kind of know what I want to see from this. You get me? Like, I know you've had to personalize a couple pairs of kicks because of the relationships with like Nike and I was saying, like, so talk to me about that process and how that worked.
It's been a journey. It's the best way to say it. All right. So again, life's about learning. So when I was younger, so I work in media industry, so you know you're on the receiving end of client hospitality from like suppliers and vendors and media owners. And in my first year in media, I got taken to Nike ID. It was really popular at the time. Nike ID, everyone was doing it. No one really cared. People were just doing reckless stuff. It was almost like a joke thing to bring back to the office and be like, oh, look what I got, and so when I went, I just went with the wrong people. I went, and then everyone's just like, oh, don't be boring, Pete. You can buy those in the shop. And everyone was saying, oh, if you're doing Nike ID, you've got to know what you're doing, and you've got to go all crazy and stuff. So I think they were called Nike tennis courts. I did it in like a green, a yellow. It was like a forest green shoe with a yellow tick, and then it had pink lining in the shoe, and then I think pink shoelace. Disgusting. So bad. And then
if you can find a picture of that shoe, bro, you need to send me that pic, bro, because I
remember that shoe at my mum's house.
I remember that shoe, bro. That shoe was a rascal. That shoe, and the zip on the side. Yeah, bro.
So the second one had the zip on the side. So the next one was then.
There was another one. Yeah.
When I got to, and I progressed a bit a couple years later, and nobody was doing it anymore. But when you're more senior in the team, people are trying to take you out so that you enjoy what's being done and stuff. So I was like, Nike ID, please. I practiced before I went. I knew what shoe I wanted to get. I knew what, and then when I got there, I think I don't know if the settings are different, but then I did like a blazer. A Nike blazer. I did it in a deeper green this time, and then I did a black tick because that makes sense. But then I did little things like the tick was black, but then it had I think it was snake skin. It's like a snake skin tick. So little things where it's like, oh, okay, it's custom, it's snake skin, like, and then it had a zip on the side. So I didn't have
that one. That's the one I remember, and that one I actually liked that, and I think you liked it as well. Like,
that one is here, but it's in a box, under a box, under another box.
It's calm. But that one, that one actually, you can send me a picture of that when you get a chance, man. Because I feel like people need to see that. Do you know what, like? Because I've been through that process of Nike IDs, and I feel like it's not talked about enough how stressful that situation is. Like, people think like, oh, it's fun, especially for someone that likes sneakers. Like, this is like all you've ever dreamed of, like being able to design your own kicks, and it's like, actually it's mad like stressful, like, because the power's in your hands and you're not prepared for it. You don't realize, like, and all you're doing is like picking colors. Like, you're not actually designing a whole shoe. You're just picking colors like that go on a silhouette that you already know. But it can be really intimidating. So, bro, talk to me about, because you mentioned it earlier, your bop to the shops, man. What are you drawing for when you're sort of running out, like the most comfortable one that you've got?
used to be Prestos, but then they turned into my garden shoes, and then they started to get fungus like in the sock. So
yeah,
they had to go. The all black ones had to go. So I've learned that lesson. But now at the minute it's the Tailwind 79s I've got.
Okay.
I've got a. So these are the white ones. I don't use the white ones like that. These are the white ones.
Solid shoe.
But I've got so basically I bought the white ones, and then the black ones were in the sale, and then also like 30% additional discount on Nike or something stupid. So I ended up getting them for like £30 or something, negligible. And so yeah, they're the ones that are kind of always by the door. Those, and unfortunately now my J. Crews, they've been relegated to that. So that's why we're trying to replace them so that the new ones can go back to the top of the food chain, and then these ones can. So it's a mix between those two.
That's cool. So yeah, we're winging our way to the end, but I'm gonna ask you like a weird question. But before I get into this, one of the main reasons I wanted to get you on the pod is because we've known each other for years now. Like I can't even put a number in it. It's definitely 20 plus, right? And we've like traveled together. We've almost died together. Businesses together. I'm saying we've been through it all. You get me? Like, so I wanted to definitely touch on the trip, and it was recently. Like it recently came to my mind about a trip that we went to. We actually went to China and we also went to Hong Kong. And the reason why it came to my mind is because Netflix over, I think it was like the end of 2020 or early 2021, had a series called Sneakerhead. It was a short, like 6-part series, and it had King Batch in there, I believe, playing one of the main characters. And it was a really cool show. It was so lighthearted and calm or whatever. But it was essentially about a sneakerhead that sort of has never grown up, basically still wearing his like Foot Locker uniform for when he was like working there when he was a kid, and like an older one that's got kids now. And it kind of reminded me of like us, not in the same way, like, because I'm getting back into it now, but I kind of was like that guy with the kids, like, and you're the guy with the kids now currently. So it's like, it kind of just reminded me of us in our situation. And they had a search for like a holy grail of a shoe, like I'm saying, like, and they ended up going to Hong Kong because there's a special street, Fire Young Street in Hong Kong. So I just wanted to find out, like, what are your recollections of that trip, man? How did you find it? You get me? Like, well, go on for that trip, man. Let's talk, man.
You know what I enjoyed about that show so much, or that episode so much, was that episode so perfectly encapsulated our experience.
It was perfect.
Hong Kong. It was crazy.
It was perfect.
And the thing that I remember most, I think it was the first place we went on the first night that we got there. The thing that I remember is instead of taking a taxi, we walked. Like, I don't know why we didn't know how far it was, but it was just like at the end of the street. But effectively, it was almost like saying, if you walk from, I don't know, Marble Arch to Tottenham Court Road, like, just like at the end of the road,
it is at the end of the road, but it is literally 4 miles away.
It's a long road, yeah. And I just remember walking, and just like, oh, like it's almost like it's near here. And then when we got there, like, you just kind of like, and it was just like, bam, Nike, Adidas,
bro,
Nike,
we got
Nike,
like literally
an
like,
abundance.
We got it as soon as we got to the road. We understood. Like, oh my days, they've got everything. It was,
and they seem to not close.
Like, it was almost like 24 hours. It was so late when we got there. It was so late. Like, it was, I just remember it, man, because it was almost, as we were walking, it was the anticipation. Like, I could see it in my mind, because on those roads, like, they kind of have the American system where they've got blocks where on the side of every building you can see the road of that block, sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I remember we'll get into a road, we see it, and it's not that one. We see it, it's not that one, and we're going, and when we actually got there, and we looked around the corner and we saw this street, and we're literally like, it's everything. And I was like, bro, like, this might be.
I think what was weird as well is that we didn't know what it was going to look like. But what was weird as well is that, because when we were walking on the main road, it was so dead and pedestrian. It was almost just like late night, right, in the city. But then it's almost like as soon as we took that left into it, it was almost like a different place.
Bro,
it was filled with people. There was life. I think one of the things that stood out to me was the fact that on the shoes, I remember the first couple of shops going into them, and on the shoes it said fixed price. And I just remember thinking, fixed price. Why does it say, like, why would
you have to say that? Why would you even have to say that?
And then that's when we realized that you could haggle, and then you could but in a shop, not in the market.
Bro,
and
in Nike, in Adidas, in Puma, haggling.
Like, if we buy this and this, and we get this as well, you know, what are we saying? What are we doing for price? And it was just that whole thing about best price.
Bro, apart from that, like, and the when we went for this trip, I wish I had it to mind, but I'm talking 2013. Thank you very much.
2013,
right?
yeah.
The exchange rate was crazy, right? So the exchange rate actually was nuts. Between pounds and Hong Kong dollars, it was nuts. Like, it was really favorable. Their fixed price was all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, their fixed price was all right. We went in and took the absolute mick, right? Just took the mick just because they said we could. And they were all right with it. We went mad. It
was good. I think it was good to see the, like, just trainers that we had at home, but in different colorways and stuff.
Yeah, that was.
I think that's what I remember. I remember getting the Nike Pegasus 89s.
Yes. You got them in that burgundy colorway, man.
In the burgundy somewhere, and it was a name. And what was funny is that I had missed it in the I wasn't really au fait with like raffles and releases and all that kind of stuff. I just thought it was coming out Wednesday. I'll get it on Friday when I've got time or whatever. And, but it was sold out in the UK, and I remember in my head, it's like, if I can get these, like that is the one thing I was looking for. And I remember when I saw them, I was like, this is the one. Man, after that, everything else was a blur. But it was street after street after street of just trainer shops, man. It was a beautiful thing.
When I remember going out there was literally 2 pairs of shoes that I was dreaming about picking up. Like, and they're literally opposite ends of the spectrum. One pair of shoes was the and this was like a personal goal at the time, I hadn't picked it up, was the 11s, the Bread 11s, the Red Jordan 11s. I was just dreaming about. And I remember going into a shop and seeing like this super cool, like Hong Kong Chinese girl, just like with her legs crossed with these 11s on her feet, just looking the highest level of cool. Like, I remember taking the picture, like, this girl's got the shoes. And like, but the thing that annoyed me and was difficult was I'm a size 12 guy, and I've been a size 12 guy for a long time, and literally the highest size they would ever have would be an 11. Majority of places was a 10. Do you remember that? It was so like with me, like just having so much like hunger to buy these kicks.
A few times.
Yeah, it was tough, man. It was tough. But the other shoe that
even with the football jersey.
Yeah, because I'm double XL all day, and everyone there is a medium. So it was just like, it wasn't.
I had to buy a large.
Yeah, even he had to buy a large. But the other shoe that I really wanted to get, man, was a pair of Adidas Gazelles, man. I really loved the silhouette. I always thought it was just a super clean shoe, man. And I still have that pair. And I don't know if you remember, I actually bought them in a size 10. As a size 12.
You bought the OG ones, and they're even like a lower profile.
Yeah, they were really low. I got them in red. Like, I love that shoe, but as time has gone on, obviously, and
it didn't survive.
It did not survive. I mean, I still have them. I wish I could drop them. I'm in the middle of moving, everyone, so like all of them ones there, like, so everything's everywhere. So I don't know what's going on, where it is at the moment. But the truth is, like that shoe, like I spread that shoe right out. Like, I'm saying, like, I killed that shoe. You get me? Like, I might be able to bring, I don't know if it would be able, but like, I just look back on that journey, and I loved it, man. Like, I loved our time together, like everything that we were, and maybe one day we'll be able to go deeper into all the madness that happens, man, because it was just such a fun journey, man, and it was capped with like being able to pick up these kicks, man.
Do you know, in the last thing I'll say about that trip that was hilarious for me watching that episode was the way that, so I had a friend from college who was from Hong Kong, and so and he had sent us this long message of like, get this from here, get this from there, get this from there. And in the episode, they had a similar thing where it's like they're looking for like, I don't know, some sort of specialist or whatever, and it's like, take a left here, do this, wait here, and then like a person will magically appear. And it was almost like for like. I remember us walking down the street and it's like, okay, don't go to, if you want to get, you know, this type of bag or whatever it is, don't go to the ones on the main road. This type of bag. Don't go to one on the main road. There are vendors that will like almost find you. Yeah. And I remember we were reading like, he said don't look at the ones on the main road. Apparently look for the guys holding like the pages of the catalogue, and literally out of nowhere like some guy came up and just like, would you like to be like, and then he was like, they will take you to a room off the road, follow them. And then it was just like, he took us like for a restaurant and then through this courtyard where people were eating. And then he was like, wait here. And then we were like, and then someone just came out with all of this stuff and it just like, bro, man. Crazy. I remember that, bro, and I love that part of it as well, man. I think it was like either Ladies Market or Temple Market or one of them markets. Temple. But that it happened exactly how you said it, man. Like the guy, another guy, it wasn't the original guy, another guy appeared with purses and bags. It's like The Wire, bro. Like it was nuts. It was nuts. And it was actually probably one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. It's so funny. Like I loved it, man. I absolutely loved it, man. But yeah, as I said, people, man, one day we'll be able to get into this a little bit deeper, man. It was really, really fun, man. But yeah, we're on our way back to the interview and we're working our way to the end. I do want to ask a kind of a weird question before I let you go. So I call this question Desert Island Kicks, and essentially what I'm suggesting is you've been cast away on a desert island, but for some reason you got 2 pairs of shoes with you. I just want to know, what 2 pairs of shoes would you have on a desert island and why? I'm going to make a reference to what you said earlier, styling and comfort. So I think for comfort, I'm going to go with Nike Flyknit Racers. If I'm in my mind, when I think of you, that's your shoe, bro. That is your shoe. How many pairs of that have you bought? Like a couple. We'll just say a couple because the wife might watch this. Yeah, bro. So those for comfort, those are your, and plus they're breathable as well because they're Flyknit, but they're also they're almost they're like, loosely woven, isn't it? Like, you kind of say that. So breathable makes sense. I'm not a sand in your toes kind of guy. I'm not that guy. So that's number 1. Then number 2 is I'm thinking about getting rescued or being found, whichever one happens, you know, because Jesus might take me home, and I'm cool with that. Right? At that point when I'm found or whatever, I want to be looking like me. So Flyknit Racers, if I'm caught off guard, I'm like trying to like forage for sticks and food and stuff, and I'm like, I'm cool. But then if I'm just chilling because I know the search party's coming, then it would be the Nike Kill Shot J Cruise, because that also is just, that's me. Probably not the J Cruise, probably this new color that I've peeped to this guy accepts the 50, the 40. But yeah, those ones, because they're just clean, they're simple, and I think those are my favorite kind of trainers. Love that, man. Love that. All right, bro. Two great pairs of shoes. Now we're just gonna go through some quick fire questions before I let you go. I'm gonna be honest, you're my guy, you're my bro, best man, all that stuff out the window. I'm gonna need you to be real quick, real fast. You get me? Try. Speak with your heart, speak with your chest. No dilly-dally. Yeah, that's the number 1 rule. No dilly-dally out here, man. Right? So let me know when you're ready and we'll count you in. I'm ready. Let's do it. All right, in 3, 2, 1. Big question off the bat. Nike or Adidas? Nike. Can you wear Nike and Adidas together, yes or no? Never. Favorite non-Nike / Adidas brand? New Balance. Favorite Adidas model? Superstars. Favorite Nike model? Air Max 1s. What is your Jordan number? 1.
Boost or React?
React. I need to try these boosts. I haven't tried them yet. I've heard too much.
Vans or Converse?
Converse.
Laces or slip-ons?
Laces.
Factory laces, or are you patterning up your laces?
Now factory laces.
I hear you. Socks or barefoot?
Barefoot. On summertime bad.
Alright, cool, man. Comfort or style?
Both really, but my comfort will always look stylish, so take from that what you will.
Fresh and clean or beaten and battered?
Fresh and clean.
Love that. Washing machine or hand wash?
Now hand wash. I've learned the hard way.
Lows or highs?
Mainly lows, but there's a place for highs, which is dope. So we're mainly lows.
Triple blacks or white on whites?
I think I'm a white on white guy first, you know.
I take that. Mr. Peter, you have completed your quick fire questions. Clap for yourself. Yeah, congratulations. Okay, just a couple of little things before we call it a day. I just want to know, man, your mindset on this question. Like, the term sneakerhead, it gets banded about, but truthfully, what does it mean to you?
I think it's somebody that has an appreciation for sneakers, what they can bring to someone in terms of joy, comfort, or even confidence. And I think it can be as deep as that or as simple as that. So yeah, man, it's just someone that just has an affinity with what it is that they're wearing and how it can speak to who they are as a person or how they're feeling at that time or want to feel at that time.
I appreciate that. And with all that being said, Peter, are you a sneakerhead?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think beforehand I was kind of like, nah, I'm not into. But I think same thing as with people, we come in different shapes and sizes. So I'm a different type of sneakerhead, which I'm cool with. Yeah, for sure, man.
I completely 100% agree with that, man. Just straight away, no. Yeah, if you're gonna go to another country and spend about an hour trying to find this mythical road, yeah, that only sells kicks, yeah, bro, you're probably a sneakerhead. You're probably a sneakerhead. So yeah, man, I co-sign that 110%, man. It's 100% true. And yeah, Peter, man, congratulations, man. This has been your Kicks Chronicles, man. 100% amazing episode.
This is cool, man.
Yeah, I've absolutely loved it, man. We've spoken about everything. Please tell the people, we've got millions and millions of people watching this, and all of them have subscribed as well. I don't know if you know that, but like, you've got you get me? We've got millions of
those
people
things
watching.
As not as if they were, Shan.
we speak them in.
That's it.
But tell the people how they can support if you've got anything going on, man.
I think for the minute, it's low-key. Obviously, big thing will be helping out with this and supporting and giving a little bit of my expertise just in the industry and with video and all that kind of jazz. For the most part, I think this year is a foundation year, like digging down, and then next year we'll get to being able to start building upwards and whatnot. So it's a watch this space type of thing, but I don't even know what space because I'm not on the socials like that. But we'll find out. We'll find out how we let the people know what's going on.
Real talk, man. 100%, man. Peter's obviously been my best guy, but he's essentially my friend in all facets. You get me? Church, family, you get me, and work, man. And we're always looking for ways to work with each other, man. And there was no way I was gonna have this channel or whatever and him not be involved. So yeah, you're gonna see Peter again. We're gonna find a way for it to happen, whether it's in front of the camera, behind the camera. Just know when you see me, you're seeing him. You get me? Like, so it is what it is, man. People, I've been your boy PROZECH, man. Subscribe. We've been doing this too long. People, subscribe, yeah, man. Hit that notification bell, like, comment, all of that good stuff. Rate, review, you get me? All of that good stuff. Stay updated. Our socials will be in and about, underneath, around, or whatever. Feel free to get in contact. If you prefer the podcast in your ears, it is available on Apple, Spotify, Google, SoundCloud, anywhere and everywhere you get podcasts. It is there. So like, people, like, feel free. Massive thank you to Peter for his time. Thank you also to you for joining us. And until I see you, man, down the road, stay blessed.